I'm Dr. Rosie Roeder, board-certified plastic surgeon.
And I'm Andrea Spar, board-certified physician assistant in dermatology.
And we are the Rejuvaness Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about all of our favorite skincare lines in our routine.
There's so many.
Yes, there are so many, and a lot of them are great.
Right.
And we don't mean to favor one over the other. We just decided to open our bags and show you what's in our makeup bag, what we usually do as routine, or at least what we're doing now. Because mine changes quite a bit. And I also am at a privileged position, and so is Andy, to be handed lots of samples, so we get to try a lot of different things.
We can definitely try before you buy, and that should tell you which ones work well, which ones don't, and if they're worth the money.
Yeah, so we're not mentioning anything that we are not currently using right now, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's all I pulled out of my little makeup bag over here. So Andy tells me she has a morning and a nighttime routine.
Correct.
So I'm going to have her run through what she does.
So the only thing I do not have over here is usually the wash, and I just use a Cetaphil Gentle Cleanser, or Tizo makes an AM cleansing wash that I use in the shower sometimes, but again, just a gentle cleanser is fine, and that's what I tell my patients because it works well. Okay. After that, I typically go in for the daytime with an azelaic acid. That is basically like a topical antimicrobial, keeps the bacteria down on the skin, works well for acne, hyperpigmentation, works well for redness in the face. They make a prescription, but I usually use the over-the-counter one. For me, my skin's a little bit sensitive, and the prescription version's a little spicy, like I call it. But you can definitely get used to the prescription version as well. But over-the-counter, the ordinary brand, that's usually what I recommend to my patients. It's a 10%. You can do that morning and at night, or just in the morning. I follow that by a good moisturizer. Again, I told you don't have to be bougie with that, but I'm a little bougie because I do the La Roche-Posay double repair. Has a little niacinamide in it. Again, helps with dark spots. Very good hydration. Does not clog the pores. Mm-hmm. And then sunscreen. Sunscreen, if I could only pick one thing out of everything that I had to use every single day, it's going to be sunscreen. That's going to be your best anti-aging product that you use. I go between two. I like the La Roche-Posay tinted sunscreen. I use that as a base. I don't really wear foundation or anything like that. Tizo also makes an AM replenish one that's a little tinted. It's a little more creamy like foundation, so if you still like that kind of texture, that's a good one to go with.
Do you have a lot of people asking you what they should get for sunscreen off the counter?
Yes.
There's a lot of misinformation out there about chemicals in sunscreen and what you should stay away from or what you should have more of. I always say the highest the level of zinc oxide, the better. However, nobody wants to look like the sufferers from the 70s with their white.
Or the lifeguards that used to have it just on their nose. But they've come a long way with zinc and like titanium dioxide, which is kind of a sister to zinc in the La Roche-Posay products. They don't leave that white cast. They rub in well now. But those actually reflect the sun. The mineral sunscreens are also my jam. I also recommend a lot of those over the counter. Usually a 30 or 50 SPF. My main pet peeve is when people come in though and say my sunscreen's in my makeup. No, I'd rather you have a sunscreen that's tinted as your makeup than makeup with sunscreen in it, because it's got 97 other ingredients before that sunscreen gets in there, and it usually takes a good tablespoon or of that makeup to even equal the amount of sunscreen that you need, and nobody uses that.
Well, and that's what I do. I use a tinted sunscreen because I don't love like foundation and makeup, and I'm really just not that good at it. And this facilitates that for me, and it would be very hard for me to pick a good foundation, right? Because that's not my jam. But I do love my tinted sunscreen too.
And then I usually just top it. I have the SkinCeuticals Corrective Essence Spray. It basically just helps soothe the skin, takes a little bit of the redness off. I am somebody that has a little rosacea as well, so that's where that azelaic acid comes into play, and then the essence spray.
Wait, I didn't know that existed. Can I spray it on my hands?
You can. You can definitely try it. It is really good, and it doesn't smell bad, but it works well. It dries pretty quick too. Outside of that, lip wise, I tell everybody Vaseline, Cetaphil, CeraVe Healing Ointment works well, and then on top of any lipstick that you're going to wear.
It's amazing that we moisturize everything but forget our lips.
Right. lips are like the least undertreated, I think. But again, you can see a lot of irritations. I tell my patients that come in and tell me they have a Carmex, a house Carmex, but their lips are just still dry and irritated. It's the chapstick.
Right.
So medicated chapsticks actually have irritants in it, and it makes your lips crave them more, which is why you feel like you need it all the time.
Yes, they have a little bit of alcohol in them that dehydrates it. So just straightforward Vaseline.
Fabulous. Does
great.
the job. And then, like I said, you can add your eye cream in the morning. You can add it at night. Some of them are morning and night. I have 2 that I go between. One has peptides in it. Another one has a type of retinol in it that's made safe for that thin skin under the eyes, because not all Retin-A is good for thin skin. But then those definitely help.
Awesome.
All right, your turn. What about your morning routine? And then we can go to the PM.
Well, like I said, I sometimes change what I do based on the samples that I'm trying right now. But my staples are after I wash with the gentle cleanser. Right now I'm using the Elastin cleanser, but I've used so many different ones. I've used the papaya revision that my kid loves because it really does have a nice smell to it. I'm a very smell-driven person. But clean my skin after workout in the shower. Then I usually use a vitamin C product. I like the vitamin C. I like the SkinCeutical ones. Some people don't like the smell of it. I love the smell of it. For any mother who's ever dropped vitamin D onto their baby's like formula or milk, it's that same smell. Maybe it just reminds me of my kids.
I can say I've never smelled that.
But I love it. You just dab it a little bit over your face. It dries pretty quickly. And then every other day I do something different. So I like my HA, which is hyaluronic acid, that you can just apply topically. And I also like to use the restorative complex from Elastin. Okay. And what's really cool sometimes about a plastic surgeon is that you get first dibs into what the next generation cream is going to be. So I'm starting to try that and I really love it. So that's kind of what I do in the morning. It's really like about 2 to 3 things. And depending on my moisturizer can either be my SkinCeutical Triple Lipid Restore if I feel really dry, depending on my night routine, which we'll go into. If I use a Retin-A, I try to do a heavier moisturizer in the morning, or I'll just use a tinted sunscreen, which most of them have moisturizers in them. The Elastin does, the Ulta MDs
or some
do.
extra like hyaluronic acid, niacinamide. You can find that hidden in them as well, which are good products.
Yeah, which are good products. So as much as I can combine in one, I'd like to, because I don't want to spend a huge amount of time. No. A lot of what you need for your skin is genetically based on what you are and where you've been given. Some people need more. And some people need less.
Like my skin, I can't use vitamin C because it breaks me out. So again, it's not, everything's not made for everybody.
Right. And it's just a level of antioxidant, but that's what the vitamin C is, really an antioxidant. And there are a lot of other products that already have it built in. You just don't want to double up. If you're using something where you double up on something a lot, then you might get a reaction to it. Right. I have slight rosacea too. So if I use my vitamin C, sometimes I have to actually quit it and give it a few days and not use it every single day because it might get me a little bit red. So I just look at my skin and what it's doing and see what it needs.
And play it by ear.
And play it by ear.
But always wear your sunscreen.
Yeah, always wear your sunscreen. So cleanse, antioxidant, some type of restorative complex or HA-based moisturizer, either by itself or in a tinted sunscreen. So that's what I do in the mornings. And at night, I do my best. Like maybe a little
depends on how tired you are. Yes.
I try to wash my face. And then I really am big on tretinoin. I think anybody over the age of 35 should be in one if they're just trying to keep and maintain their collagen, their elastin, look at fine wrinkles. I mean, if you actually have a holy grail of something, that's it. It is tret. I import mine. I'm Brazilian, so I get a lot of my things there. It's a little bit cheaper, but I'm at the 0.05 percentage now, so that's what I need to. But again, I've been using it for over 13 years. Right. You can start with an off-the-counter, like
the different.
Yeah, I tell a lot of my patients about different gel. I'm like, your teenager could be using it. You could be using it. As a starting point, it's not a bad thing. Get your skin adjusted to it. I never advise starting it every day, because you're going to be dry. So I say a couple times a week and work yourself up. I really am good about doing it 2 to 3 times a week because I forget. There's a lot of other people out there who are like me. We have kids. We are working women. We have a million things in our plate. And as much as I love skincare products and as much as I want to tell you that I'm going to do this every single night, I'm not that great at it.
Right.
I try to definitely at least wash my face to get all the accumulation of pollutants and life events and sweat that have accumulated there. And then I'll try to do my tret 2 to 3 times a week and moisturize. That's when I get most of my moisturizing, is using it at nighttime.
I know, I'm the same way. Sometimes I'm complaining, I'm like, oh, I have to go brush my teeth. Nevertheless, wash your face, do your skincare routine. Yeah. It can be a lot sometimes, especially for me, even though I don't have kids. I'm also going back to school for my doctorate. Like, there's a lot going on, and it's not always ideal. So a majority of the time, I still try and get my retin-A on as well. But again, at night, you're going to wash. I definitely use the Alpha Ret Overnight Cream by Skin Better. I don't like a lot of scented things. I know you like stuff that smells, but I don't. I say this smells like science because there's really no smell behind that. I also use their Tech Neck Cream as well for my neck, but I think those work well. They don't give you the actual strength of the retin-A in here, but I know at higher strength retin-A's, my skin also being sensitive can't handle it. But this is one that I've been able to use sometimes every night when I remember and not have an issue with it, but it still works well.
You mentioned the neck.
Yes.
Yeah. So as we have looked at ourselves more in our phones, in Zoom meetings, or, Microsoft Teams, Google Teams, whatever we're using these days, people have started to notice their necks more. And I think that we're all very good, and women have been great about putting things on their face, and then they forget their neck. All of these things that you put on your face, you can bring down to your neck. But the neck skin is a little different. Yeah,
it's sensitive just like the eyelids. So I tell people the eyelids, corners of the nose, corners of the mouth, neck, they may need a little extra cushion with a moisturizer first, or sandwiched with a moisturizer.
So pay attention to that. Don't forget to go down to neck. You can have a neck-specific cream like a Neck to Firm, or use your Alpha Red, or what else you use?
The Skin Better Neck Perfecting Cream.
Yeah. So you can choose something that's specific for the neck, which is really nice. But if you're not going to add the additional product, take at least what you have. Make sure you add the extra moisturize, and don't forget your sunscreen on your neck, especially if you're using a cut-down shirt. Your neck is always,
especially for women, that's our danger zone, because we wear low-cut, round neck shirts all the time, and you forget to put sunscreen there. And that's where you're even getting hit in the car when you're driving. And I tell people, I'm like, this is our danger zone. That's where you age more too.
Absolutely. So don't forget the neck. That's, I guess, the key word here. We are very privileged that we can get a lot of these things in our office as samples or at whole price. I mean, I love the Triple Lip Restore, for example, because it has an amazing smell to it, and I love the texture, and it replenishes the skin in a way that I haven't found many other moisturizers, except for maybe like Oil of Olay.
Yeah,
I really do think
that is literally one of the goats, man.
Yeah, old school Oil of Olay is fantastic. So if I'm out somewhere and I forget my skin care products and I'm going to CVS, there's a couple of go-to things that I'm like, okay, if my skin needs moisture, I'm going to go to this.
Right.
And we might go check some of these products out at a store and showcase them to you guys,
and show you kind of what we would recommend over the counter if you want to start with those kind of options.
Yeah, because it's not just skincare products, but I also do a lot of wound care, and there's amazing wound care products off the counter that I send my patients to. And there are times where you do need the medical grade that's in my office, and it's about keeping the patients directed to what they really need at that one particular time in their life, and getting them access to it.
Again, my responsibility, and I know it is yours too, is to be able to have something for my patients that they can afford long term. You never want to give them something that they can only buy for 2 or 3 months and then get the benefit they like from it, but not be able to afford it long term.
Yes. So. And the skincare products go to that analogy I made on an episode earlier, where your face is like a bed. Okay. So that bedspread is your skin. So you have to start with these products. You have to start here. That is your daily maintenance. If you're coming to me for a facelift and you don't have a good skincare routine, then that's a problem, because you're not going to maintain that as long as you want.
You're not going to get the best bang for your buck.
You're not going to get it. You can come and spend tons of money on microneedling, lasers, but you have to maintain that forever in your day-to-day life and in your routine. It's about your self-care.
It's all about the maintenance is what I usually say.
And I love a great facial.
Yes. Facials are fabulous.
Do you get hydrofacials?
I do the hydrofacials. I actually do the Diamond Glow at our office.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that done a couple times, and it's really nice.
I've had a Diamond Glow once. I do like the hydrofacial. The hydrofacial you can actually take to your scalp as well.
Really?
And do some scalp treatments.
Oh.
Yeah. And everything's about the hair.
Yep. It's always about the hair.
Yeah. The hair is something we could do a whole episode on hair.
Yes.
We do sell a lot of Nutrafol in our practice.
And I also do PRP in the scalp for hair growth.
Me too. I have some amazing pictures we can probably show. I'm sure you probably have some from your patients. It really works extremely well. And you got to nourish from the inside. Mm-hmm. You got to do things from the outside.
Including retin-A. Did you know retin-A helps with hair growth around the hairline?
No way.
Yeah, so when you take it up to the forehead, it promotes blood flow in those areas. So kind of just like minoxidil or Rogaine does.
Do you see my mouth is like open? I was like, how did I not know that?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm going to start putting it in my hairline.
Sliding it up.
That's awesome. Everybody asks me, Doc, what do you do? And I keep saying that I'm going to make a list. So here's kind of like the list. We'll itemize it and put it on our IG and showcase what we use so that people can have that. We're also going to give you some alternatives off the counter.
And then I'll do the link for the store for our practice that we have, because we have a good link, good website where you can get some of these other medical grade products without actually having to come and be seen.
Yeah, our online store is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. We have specials going on there all the time too.
Where we should have some coming up.
Yeah, where you can get not only access to the products with some discounts, but also injectables and other things like that will augment your regimen. But it's also nice to know that you can go and from the comfort of your home buy these products
and have it delivered to your front door.
But I do think it's important to have a consultation if you're not sure, and if it's your first time trying something.
Yes, please do not spend hundreds of dollars before knowing.
Yeah, before you know. Just see Andy, see myself, see one of our estheticians or one of our other board-certified dermatologists or board-certified physician assistants that do this every day.
Yes.
That way you're not just simply going try and error on your face. We can at least guide you into some of the categories. And just because, like, you can see, like, just because I use it doesn't mean you should use it, right?
Right.
Because we both have great skin and we use completely different things. We have themes, right?
Right.
Cleansing, antioxidants, replenishing, sunscreen protection, but you can find good products of any different kind. It's about making sure that your sensitivities are paid attention to and you're not going to use something that is going to make you break out. I think it's really important to just keep it to the themes and have it tailored, but that consultation takes you about 15 to 30 minutes and then you can go on to the
and do whatever you
online.
want. You don't ever have, I tell my patients, you never have to buy stuff from us. Just let me help you. You don't even have to come back and see me if you find stuff over the counter that works for you, but I want to get you started. I want to do it together so you can actually spend the money on what's going to work.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are getting products from foreign countries.
Yes.
Do you see that a lot?
I do. People bring in Korean skincare that I can't even tell you what the ingredients are in it to even tell them that it's good or bad. Some of them like what they're using. Some of them are like, this tore my face up. Now I need you to fix my skin barrier. So I've seen the best of both worlds from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of people. I'm in Hickory, North Carolina, so that might be a place where maybe the Korean skincare line hasn't reached yet, but it was a whole session in one of our aesthetic meetings because we're seeing that a lot. So I'm going to try to learn and understand more about it myself. I always worry when people get things where I can't read the ingredients because I don't know what's in them.
Especially if you have allergies or sensitive skin.
Yeah, especially. Not everything that is expensive is necessary, but sometimes when things are too cheap or too true to be true, you need to kind of look and dive a little deeper to know what they're being made of. And I really, at this point, don't know enough, so I'm trying to educate myself on that. I just wanted to know if you are seeing them.
Definitely seeing them. I haven't personally taken a deep dive into it because there's just a lot of good stuff here. Now, I do feel like a lot of the overseas Korean sunscreens, even sunscreens in Italy, are a lot better than the U.S. because the U.S. hasn't changed their sunscreen patents since like the early 90s. And the pollutants in the world are just getting worse. So nothing has changed with the sunscreen era. So even when we went to Italy last year, I stocked up on some sunscreen over there that I know we don't carry here because I know they have better products. So that can definitely be something that I would suggest if you're out of the country. Get some good sunscreen because, again, the U.S. just is lagging behind in that.
I've had friends of mine go to France and love to go to their pharmacies and buy French products as well. I don't speak French, so I wouldn't know what's in them. I guess if somebody gave me a recommendation, I could go. I don't really even know what to look for, but I think it's fun to try new things as long as you know and understand what your skin does when you use different products.
I think a lot of people still struggle too, whether or not knowing if they have oily skin, combination skin, dry skin, and they don't know like the tips and tricks of having to being able to figure out what type of skin you have. And it's as simple as washing your face and letting it air dry, and 30 minutes later, if your skin's oily, then you have oily skin. If your skin's dry, then you have dry skin. So you put nothing on after you wash it. But that can definitely help you go in the direction that you need to go in.
I've always had slick combination skin for most of my life, and that is definitely changing. And it changes where I live. It changes with the type of water that's coming into my house,
right?
Whether it's well water, hard water, city water. I have a filtration system in my house now, and I can see
the difference.
Yeah,
I see that a lot with teenagers that go to college because the showers at the college, some of the like shower heads are caulked on and they can't change them out to put filters in them. So I can have my teenage kids completely clear with their acne, and they go to college and come back so broke out, and I'm like, it's the water. So start washing your face with bottled water, filtered water, stuff like that, and then it clears them right back up. So yeah, filtered water, hard water, that all makes a difference, especially in the pH of the skin.
Yeah, I can totally tell when I need to change my filter at home because of my skin and my hair.
Right.
It's crazy, but it's true. Yeah. Not like we're saying go buy Evian water, right? Because there was this whole trend where people are like, you got to get these expensive bottled waters. But we're saying pay attention to it.
Right.
And that some of it may not be in your head. It really is related to environmental things that you can't control, like the fact that we're experiencing second winter right now. Or that maybe your eyes a little puffy secondary to allergies because it's allergy season.
Because everything's yellow, including my car.
Yes, everything is yellow. So everything suffers a little bit. In the winter, we're in a drier environment. So we're going to feel that dryness on the skin. So you might have to change how thick your moisturizer is or how many more times you moisturize a day.
And I bet you did not know, by laying in the dry heat in the winter, just the heat being on in your house is pulling 8 to 21 ounces of moisture out of your skin throughout the week. So again, that's where people come in, their eczema is so flared because they didn't know that was just pulling more moisture out of them too. So again, it's just, again, second winter, like you said, the heat coming on, heat going off, our skin just can't rebound that fast.
You mentioned the word eczema.
I did. I have seen a lot of it.
Yeah, and we should do a whole episode about what eczema really is, because eczema, psoriasis, and overall just xerosis, which is dryness of the skin, they all get lumped into one category.
And I think people don't know that they can actually be separate.
Yeah. They can be separate, and I think it's important to know how to characterize it. And that's why dermatologists are so kind of cool to me, is that we look at, like, I look at something at times and I'm like, well, I mean, you know, it's dry, it's red, it's flaky,
Do you
right?
use lotion?
Yeah, but there are different ways in which you can categorize that, and not the same treatments for all of them. So maybe that's where we'll focus next, is to talk about the different inflammatory conditions of the skin, some of the infectious conditions of the skin, and we're going to have to talk about parasites.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Delusions of parasitosis is not my jam, but we can talk about it.
But all of us have seen it, that we work in this realm, and it's very curious, very interesting.
And it's very common.
Yeah, it's very common. All right, so let's do a couple of takeaways from today.
Okay.
So if you had to put in big categories, skincare, routine, give me your top 3 tips for patients.
Always wear sunscreen. whether the sun's out, not 365 days year round, you still need it. Retin-A is one of the GOATs. It is one of the most well-rounded anti-aging, acne, hormonal sunscreen or products that's on the market. So even if you start on a lower dose and that's all you can tolerate, it still will do something for your skin. And moisturizing your skin as you age is just a big hit because your skin dries out so fast as you age.
I think I have nothing to add to that. Those would really be my top three, honestly. Then it must be true.
It's got to be true, especially if we believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. And every day.
Every day.
I mean, we are definitely users of this, and we advocate for our patients the same way we advocate for ourselves. So,
and I would never use something. I would never not use something that I would recommend to a patient.
Right. I have tried almost everything that I recommend to people. Same. I don't think there's anything out there that I haven't used before I recommend it to someone.
And just in note, I do not like beef tallow. Don't put that on your skin, please.
No, please don't do that.
We'll do an episode about that as well.
All right. Well, I am Dr. Rosie Roeder with Andrews Parr. We're the Rejuvaness Podcast, and we'll catch you next time.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.